I have some free downloads for you guys, so stay tuned. Hey sitters, welcome back to another video. It is Lydia, thanks for joining me. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about different questions that you could be asking in different types of situations that can help you handle the situation better. I've got my team who have gotten themselves in some situations that could have been avoided if the right questions were asked, and I have compiled them here together for you guys as well. I want to give them away to you so that you guys understand what questions to ask in the right type of situations to keep yourself out of sticky situations. So stay tuned to the end to find out how you guys can obtain these. But I want to go through them. I'm not going to go through all of the questions on here, but I want to go through some major ones and kind of put them in action or put them in a situation or apply them to a situation for you guys so you guys understand kind of where I'm coming from. So the first one is going to be asking if this job is right for you, right? So we always go into interviews thinking that they're always going to be the one interviewing us, right? However, I always like to look at it as we're interviewing both parties. Both parties are interviewing both people, right? I'm trying to decide if you're right for me and if your family is the right fit for me, as well as you're trying to figure out if I'm the right fit for your family. So some of the questions that you would be probably asking yourself are the normal ones, right? How many kids? What can I do with them? How old are they? Is the commute worth it? But some of the big ones that I have seen babysitters overlook are, am I comfortable being in their home around them, their children, and their pets? So I've had families in the past that I've worked for, I have had sitters come to me and say, I love the kids, but the dad just does not, something's not right. I don't feel comfortable every time he walks in the home, or I don't feel comfortable whenever he comes down the stairs. That is your gut feeling telling you something, and that is probably not a situation you want to keep yourself in. So I have put together a bunch of questions to ask yourself, not to ask the family when you're interviewing, but, well, I have that one too. But this one is to really ask yourself these questions and reflect. Is this family the right family for me? Is this something that I actually want to commit to and continue working for this family? Each of these sheets also have, there's 4 different sheets. Each of them also have something to observe as well. So not only questions to ask yourself, but observe these things while you're in the home or while you're in the situation. So one of the things that you can observe are the parents and the children's daily stress levels in the house. That one's a huge one for me. If there is always stress in the house over the simplest of things, or if the anger fuse is very short with mom and dad, I tend to stay away from those situations. There's a couple more on here, but again, I'm not going to go word for word or question by question because you'll be able to see them yourselves. Okay, let's move on to the interview questions. So you're trying to decide if it's a right job. You want to make sure you're asking the right questions with the family, right? So all of the questions are pretty much asking about what the job entails, whatnot, but the couple that I think is really important to ask are, how soon does this position need to be filled? And are they, so that's more so if you're doing part-time or full-time. And are they planners, or do they like to do last-minute things? So am I going to be expecting you to be texting me on the day of 2 hours beforehand, or do you like to plan out your date nights and get them on the calendar ahead of time? I really like to make sure that I'm kind of finding out who I'm working with when in the interview. A lot of my clients do like to plan ahead. I have very few clients who are last-minute planners. So I like to give them kind of a day, 2 or 3 days a week to for my last minute planners, if that makes sense. So those are the questions I ask, and things to observe in an interview is, what does their parenting style look like, and how much the parents interact and question you. So I like, the more they're engaged, the better, right? So they're asking you What are your future plans? What do you want to do in 5 years? What does your 5-year plan look like? Is childcare something you want to get into in your long-term career? If they're just kind of sitting around and giving you the basics, they're like basically telling you the same thing you read in the job description. I don't like pulling things from families. I don't like giving all this information about me without them even asking. I like when parents truly interact with you, get to know you, and get to really decide if you're a good fit for their family. Other things I observe is immediate red flags. So if I'm in the house and the child is climbing the curtains, for example, and they're just sitting there like it's not a big deal, they're still going about the interview with me, there's no discipline to the child, there's no, hey, I need you to get off of there, or they don't even say like this is not his normal behavior, like anything like that, that is a red flag to me. Other things, if, I don't know, I tend to scan the house when I walk in to see what's around, if they're, I don't know. I like to look for red flags when I'm in the interview. Sometimes interviews are on phone calls, and a lot of these questions that I've on here, you can ask on a phone call as well. So you don't have to be in person to ask the questions. Alrighty, the next is questions for potty training. A lot of my team members have realized that they're not really sure what questions to ask when it comes to potty training, right? Most of the time we just ask, are they potty trained? And if it's a no, then we know that they're either in diapers or I have to take them to the bathroom often. So I've included a list of questions in here for potty training. A couple of them that stand out is basically, where would you like me to put the spoiled underwear and pants? The other day I didn't listen to my own advice. I babysat for a little girl who peed her pants and I had no idea what to do. I ended up putting it in the bathtub, that's my go-to, but I didn't know if mom and dad wanted me to put it in the laundry or in the washer and start the washer. You really don't know, so asking that question is a good one. And then do they have, are they scared of the toilet flushing? A lot of the kids that I used to potty train and work with were terrified of the toilet flushing. So with me, they didn't want to go to the bathroom because I would flush the toilet as soon as they got off. So, and they didn't really know how to communicate that over to me. So when I found out through mom and dad that they did not like the toilet flush until they were completely done and out of the bathroom, that's when they started telling me they needed to go to the bathroom and started using the potty and stopped having accidents. And it's something simple like that I didn't know that they were terrified of the toilet flushing. So they would not go to the bathroom with me because I would flush the toilet too soon. Something so simple, but major in keeping them on their schedule and going to the bathroom and not having accidents. And things to observe, obviously the potty dance, right? But also going into a corner to be alone. That is a big signal for somebody to one of the kids, that was his routine. He went in the corner of the closet and pooped in his pants. So as soon as he started heading there, I redirected him to the bathroom, and that was pretty easy. So long list of questions for that one. And then the last page is about situational awareness questions. When you're out on an outing with a child, this could be to the zoo, this could be the beach, this could be the park, just even a walk. There's a bunch of questions on here. But what I ask, usually the biggest one is, how can I get myself and the kids out of this dangerous situation, and where would I go? That is a huge one. So not only what would I do in an emergency, but how can I get me and the kids out of this emergency or this situation? And then things to observe. Everybody who is there and what their reasoning is for. So if you're at a park with some kids and there is an old guy there and he has no dogs, he is not with any children, that's kind of sketchy. But if there's a person there and he's walking a dog, or if they're riding their bike, or if they're there with kids and they're playing soccer, obviously they're meant to be there or they're supposed to be there, so that's not really like a red flag. But if they are not to be there, then just keep an eye on them. And if things make more red flags or raise more red flags, that's when you need to start analyzing who can I go to and what am I going to do if something happens. or you need to make the decision, I am not comfortable and I need to get out of here right now. So, all right. So those are all the 4 pages. Jobs to ask yourself to decide if the job is right for you. Interview questions to ask when you're in an interview. Potty training questions. So if the family is in the process of potty training, all the questions that you will need to ask. And then situational awareness questions to ask yourself when you're on an outing with children. So things that you need to think about or be aware of when going out on an outing. So I will put a link to these resources down in the description below. It'll send you to a landing page where you put in your email, and once you put your email in, it'll automatically send over these resources for you to download and print out to use when you get in any of these situations. Again, there's more questions on here than the ones I went over in the video because I didn't want to go question by question for you guys. I just wanted to hit the major ones that I think are important to remember or ask a family. Alrighty, well, if you guys have any other questions, if you can think of anything to add to these lists, please let me know down in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.